Hi and welcome to I Hit Drums. Today we're going to be doing more of an intermediate lesson where we start adding accents to the hi-hats. So today we're going to take a simple groove, a money beat, and we're going to add two different hi-hat accent patterns to this. Essentially taking one groove and making three grooves. Now these exercises are from my book Intermediate 1, which you can find on my website www.ihitdrums.co.uk, but in the description below I'll also add a link to a worksheet that includes the exercises from this video. Let's move to the kit and get started. Okay, so let's see how adding accents to the hi-hats can change your groove and in fact give you new grooves essentially. So if we take a normal hi-hat strike, that's going to sound like this. And if we do all those hits accented, that's going to sound more like this. So you're kind of laying into it a lot more. So to begin with, let's just try a bar of non-accented hits and then a bar of accented hits. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, nice and simple exercise to begin with. So that's just to kind of get you warmed up and get you used to experiencing the different strike volumes between a normal hit and a loud hit. You could even make the normal ones quieter. Use the tip of the stick for those quieter strikes. And then use more of the shoulder of the stick on top of the hi-hat, not on the edge. That's how you break them, to get those louder strikes. So let's see if we can now alternate between those two hi-hat strikes. And this is where movement becomes really important. Because we want to go loud, quiet, quiet. And that's quite hard to do if everything's just a downstroke. If you're going loud, quiet, loud, it doesn't flow very well. So what you want to do is we're going to think of it more as down, up, down, up. So you're going to do a downward strike, and then for the upward strike, drop the tip of the stick onto the hi-hat, but as you do that, bend the wrist upwards, like that. So you're going to combine those two to get down, and then down, up, like the Karate Kid. So let's try that together. 3 and 4 and. So that's the movement that you really want to work on in order to get those loud and quiet hits. So try not to think of it as loud, quiet, loud, quiet. Think of it along the lines of down, up, because it's the movement that's going to facilitate the sound that you're getting from it overall. So if we take something like the money beat, and we try apply this accent pattern to it, we're going to now have a different kind of feel to that groove. So I'll play it first of all without any accents. 3 and 4 and. Okay, and now I'm going to apply that down, up movement to change the feel of that groove. So this is accenting the quarter note essentially. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you got quite a different feel there. I'll go between the two. So I'll do a bar without accents and then a bar accenting the quarter note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you've got a new feel to that groove. So you've actually got two different grooves there because they sound different. Although the bass drum and the snare drum pattern is the same, the feel has changed. So we can use that same down, up movement, but actually change where we're putting that. So rather than having the downstroke on every number, 1 and 2 and, we can put the accent strike, the downward strike, on the and position. And all we need to do for this is change that initial hit. So instead of starting with a downstroke and then moving to an up, we're going to start with an upstroke and move to a down. And that ends up with this. So the mechanics are the same. You're just starting with a different hit. So again, if we apply that to the bass drum and snare drum pattern that we had a second ago, instead of having this, we're now going to have this kind of groove instead. Quite a different feel. So because in this drum beat, we're not doing any actual bass drum, snare drum hits on any of those ands, that accent in the and position really pops out. And position, also known as the offbeat position. I'll cycle through all three. I'll do a bar, no accents, a bar, accent in the quarter note, so the numbers, then I'll do a bar again with no accents, and then I'll do a bar accenting the offbeat or the and position. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's one groove played 3 different ways. So you've got actually 3 grooves now. And if you think about how many straightforward grooves you maybe already know, if you were to try out all of those different bass drum and snare drum variations with those 2 different hi-hat patterns, you've now tripled the amount of grooves that you can play. And depending on what kind of music you're playing, that accent pattern on the quarter note or the accent pattern on the offbeat can be really useful and reinforce the style of music you're playing, or even just make it a little bit more interesting. So give that a try. Let me know how you get on. Okay, so there you go. 1 drum beat, now 3 drum beats. It might take you a little bit of time to get used to that down-up or the up-down movement, but once you've got that under control, it's much, much easier to then add those different bass drum, snare drum patterns underneath it. So if you're in a position where you can currently play 10 different grooves, once you've mastered those hi-hat accent techniques, you've now got 30 different grooves to choose from. And this can also really change the feel of the groove. So depending on what kind of music you're playing, you can make it more kind of swaggery and laid back. Or if something like reggae, that offbeat accent is really, really important. So don't forget to click the link below in the description to access the exercises that we used today. And if you want more exercises like this, you can find them in my book, Intermediate 1, which is on my website, www.ihitdrums.co.uk. But until next time, enjoy!